all of you need to be in the class. Make sure you're in here. We started right at 6:30, 6:36. So I'm going to go over about 37 questions, and then I'll answer yours. So this is basically, driver review question, segment 2. To limit your risk of driving during the first 6 months of unsupervised driving, you should avoid A, carrying extra passengers. The law is set up so you want to limit the number of passengers. Next, if you cannot prevent a person who has been drinking from driving, you should C, refuse to ride with them. But there's something called peer pressure, and a lot of you can't say no. And if you can't say no to your friends, you're going to end up getting in trouble, and you're going to end up getting a ticket. So you got to learn to say no to your friends. And if you can do that, you're really going to be successful. Everyone's a little bit different. We all have friends. But if you know your friend is not good to drive, you just shouldn't be driving with them. And it's hard for us all to say no. But if you care about your friend, you'll do the same. Number 3, you have identified a driver ahead of you has been possibly a drunk driver. The first thing you should do is maintain a proper following distance, because drivers tend to follow those headlights. Number 4, country roads are the most dangerous roadway for young drivers because they're soft shoulders. There's a lot of different curves and turns. There are ruts in the road, and a lot of people go really fast. Next, when do fatal crashes in young drivers often occur? And this is daytime on dry roads. Next, impaired depth perception in drinking drivers causes the inability to judge distance, because alcohol relaxes the muscle in your eye and you can't focus. Next, the most dangerous time period for young drivers to crash is the time between 2 and 5 p.m. You have a lot of young drivers out. They run lights. They don't check blind spots. They speed. They kind of drive aggressive or careless. And you're really setting yourself up for dying. Next, over 80% of young driver fatal crashes occur in what type of weather conditions? This is fair weather conditions. So the weather is not bad, but as a result, people still crash because I think they get careless. Next, on which 2 days of the week do most young driver fatal car crashes occur? It is Friday and Saturday. People are partying, drinking, going out, not paying attention. Your team won the basketball championship, but you lost when you got to the city finals because the city teams are more hungry. The country team, they got a guy who's 6'10". He's being recruited. So it's really important. Let's continue. Which of the following is the self-imposed anxiety related to aggressive driving? I am going to be late if I do not hurry. So the worst thing that all of us do, particularly beginning drivers, you leave late. And if you leave late, you're going to drive fast. If you're in a hurry, you're going to drive fast. So try to get up early. Try to get your car ready early. Start it up, let it run, get everything you need, and then you're less likely to drive aggressive. Research indicates that young drivers' brains is not fully developed until what age? That is 25. For every 500 miles driven, the average driver has at least one near collision. Going too close, not using the blind spot, tailgating, cutting cars off. Research indicates that areas in inexperience account for the largest number of percentage of young driver crashes. If you must leave the roadway at a high rate of speed, you should search for an open space. You don't want to hit a tree. That's a stationary object. You want to hit you want to hit something at an angle. You want to look for an open space. There's no guarantee. Once you go off the road, you still could crash. You are traveling in a 2-lane road. An oncoming vehicle drifts into your lane and is headed straight for you. What is a good rule to remember? You can almost always turn to miss an object more quickly than you can stop. So you want to think of side swiping. You're about to be struck from behind at a stop sign. You should release the brake. Thank you for the hearts. Much appreciated. Let's get those hearts going. I need more likes, please, and thank you. Okay, let's keep going. If you decide to leave the roadway to avoid a hazard or emergency, you should keep in mind that you may be unable to re-enter the road because of the shoulder conditions. Taking 2 or more drugs together increases the effects. It's called synergy. Which of the following principles of controlling consequences of a crash is to avoid a head-on collision? They're the most dangerous. The crumple zones in a vehicle help reduce the force of a crash into a solid barrier. The crumple zones are the right front corner, left front corner, rear left corner, rear right corner. On average, after how many drinks will alcohol start to affect a person's driving ability? It is the first drink. Straddling the center of a lane marker, driving too slow, drifting in the lane are common signs of a drinking driver. Inertia is the main reason that safety belts are important to a driver in a crash, because you will be thrown out of the vehicle. We know about a third of you won't wear your seatbelts, and then you're going to end up being thrown out of the vehicle. When a vehicle hits a fixed object like a tree, what is the most important factor to determine how hard it hits? It is the speed of the vehicle. Next, rubbernecking is a term used to describe a person who is maintaining eye contact at a crash. And if you're staring at a crash, like I'm looking left or looking right, you're going to rear end someone. It's going to be a secondary crash. The danger of a driver using marijuana is that it lessens their ability to maintain control. Segment 2, you're learning about alcohol awareness, drug awareness, because we want to make you safe drivers. Every state is a little bit different. Every jurisdiction is a little bit different. The best time to address a distraction that can affect driving is before it begins. A driver's goal should be to eliminate. You want to eliminate any distractions before they begin. To reduce distractions while driving before putting the vehicle into motion, you should secure all loose objects, football, baseball, your bag, because if you stop really fast, that stuff is going to fly up and hit you. Aggressive driving is driving in a selfish, bold, or pushy manner. Talking on the cell phone while driving makes you as impaired as a drunk driver with the BAC level of 0.08. That's pretty much the national level across the country. For young drivers, the problem of being distracted is made worse by the simple fact of lack of experience. For 16-year-old drivers, the risk of a fatal car crash involving increases by more than 150% when you have 3 drivers. Self-imposed anxieties are related to aggressive driving. The first thing you should do in a vehicle in front of you signals or flashes its brakes is to slow down. Next, constant rushing, lane jumping, ignoring certain road signs or regulations is called rush in. So we're talking about road rage right now, and that is an element that we have to deal with. Constant ridiculing and criticizing others to self and passengers and closing the gap to deny entry of the lane is called total aggression. don't respond, don't engage, and choose to be tolerant is a formula for dealing with anger. I need some more likes. I have one. Let's get 7 or 8 more likes, please and thank you. Okay, I'm going to go right to 50. Then we're going to go over a question and answer. When confronted by an aggressive driver, the first thing you should do in order to avoid becoming involved in road rage is make every attempt to get out of their way, to be tolerant and forgiving. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes. Age group influence on a person is peer pressure. Drivers must always keep in mind that their driving can be affected by emotions. While backing a car, you should see clearly in the direction your car is moving. The best way to do this is turning your head and shoulders and looking backwards. A driver who loses control, his or her emotions, and attempts to harm another driver, what is this called? This is called road rage. Blind spots are areas that cannot be seen in a rearview mirror. To offset this problem, when changing lanes, you should turn your head to check the mirrors and look over. You got to look over your shoulder too. So you have to look over your shoulder. If you're going to the left, look over your shoulder to the left. If you're going to the right, look over your shoulder to the right. Hey, I have 3 likes. I need more. Please and thank you. You can reduce the chances of hitting something in front of you at night if you drive slower to see in the distance in front of you. After making a right turn at an intersection, you should adjust your speed to the flow of the traffic in the right lane. What is the only effective way to reduce your body's blood alcohol content? Allow the body to get rid of the alcohol. When driving fast around a curve, your car will tend to move to the outside part of the curve. Okay, I asked you to put in questions right now. Let's take a look at these questions. What is the main speed limit we should memorize? First, I would say, I want you to understand the speed limit fluctuates. In neighborhoods, it's 25. Think of kids. On the main roads, it varies. Some main roads are 35. Some main roads are 40. Some main roads are 45. Some main roads are 55 miles an hour. So what I want all of you to do is get used to looking as you're driving, looking for that speed limit sign. Don't assume it's a certain speed. I would say I want you to understand. If you're in a downtown area, it could be 15 miles an hour. A trailer park is 15 miles an hour because it's a smaller area and you really want to be aware. I didn't make the eye patch video yet. My day is going really good. How are you? 35 hours right now. So you need 50 hours in order to take your road test. You need to pass your segment 2. We'll go over some of these things. So I ask you to give me a question, a couple questions, and how many hours you have? 40 hours. Ben has 50. The 30 hours, you need a total of 50 hours. And to be 16, 45 hours, 15 years old. For the road test, how do you think I should practice parking? You want to go into a neighborhood and practice parallel parking. You want to line up to the car, reverse back, cut your wheels all the way to the right, get it in at a 45 angle. You should be close to the curb but not on it. Also, I want you to practice backing into your driveway. You have to do the reverse park. You need to be able to pull up, reverse back, turn your wheel all the way to the right or left, and back up straight into the correct portion of your driveway. If you pull up past your driveway, you should be able to pull in. Your driveway has 2 cement slabs. One is on the left, one is on the right. You should be able to back up and reverse in on the right side and back up straight. If you can't back up and you back in sideways or crooked or off angle, you're not ready to take your test. I'll say it again. If you can't back up straight into your driveway from the main road or from your side or from your neighborhood street, you're not ready to take your road test. I have some sheets. Put in more questions. How soon after the test will I be able? Well, Ben, it depends on how old you are and how many hours you have and when you pass the test and when the paperwork is turned in, and then it's got to be processed. So there's some things in place that needs to be done. You've got to take your test. It's got to be checked. Then it's got to be taken over to the main office. The people at the main office have got to look at everything. It's got to be organized in alphabetical order. You're like, that's a lot. And then once it's organized in alphabetical order, attendance is taken, they verify everything, then within a week, you're going to get emailed your digital certificate. But you got to be 16 and a half, 50 hours. I just answered the question, Dana. How old are you? How many hours do you have? What should I do in preparing to do the park? Park in front of your house. Park on side streets where there is a car, so you're used to parallel parking. When you're driving on the main road, stop behind a stop bar or stop line. When you're driving on the expressway, drive right at 70. I know people are driving 75, 80, 90. Drive at the speed limit. Practice merging on the expressway. Practice getting off. I would practice every day if you can, 3 or 4 times, practicing merging on, merging off. You're just going to get on once. I would practice driving in neighborhoods, staying under 25, 22, 23. I would practice driving on the main roads. Some main roads are 45. Be right at 45. I would practice not running yellow lights, because if you run yellow lights, you're going to fail your test. I answered on parking. What are some of the biggest mistakes? People running red lights, failure to stop at a stop sign, failure to understand the right of way. There's an intersection with 4 stop signs. Yes, I think you can drive a car. You sent me a video of you and the person teaching how to drive. I think you can. You need to practice 4-way stops. The first car to get there's the first car to leave. Going too fast around curves. Turning right on red when you can't. Not coming to a complete stop. Are there a lot of questions on percentage on the test? You have 20 questions. You have to pass the test with the 14. If you miss 7 or 8, you fail. There are 20 questions, so it's serious. If you move your car up while parking, you won't get a point. I'll show you the video. You won't get a point deducted if you move up, but if you turn it left or right, you will lose points. In our location, you can get up to 25 errors. After 25 errors, you fail. We'll talk about that. I'll show you a video. When is the earliest I can take the test? Grace, how old are you? How many hours do you have? You got to have 50. You have to be 16. And then your parents have to come with you. A guardian has to come with you. Your mom and dad work. Well, if I have a brother that's over 21, they can come. Is the car insured? Is the windshield cracked? Do the headlights and taillights work? Yes, I think you can drive. When is the last time you've driven, Jay? Okay, I have 50 hours. Once I complete segment 2, can I take the road test? I already have my 50 hours. I'm going to read the law to let you know. I'll show you that. 33 hours. You got to have 50. Once I take segment 2, I'll show you all that. The test lasts about 45 minutes. It's anywhere from $75 to $150. You have to go online and register for the test. Your car has to have valid insurance. No headlight, no taillight crack. The blinkers, turn signals, all those needs to work. My audio's good. Can you explain number 30? Let's go back. What's the best time to address a distraction? Before it starts. So you want to eliminate distractions, like your mom is talking to you. Well, you got a C+ on your AP calculus. But then you're trying to drive to your grandmother's house. Your mom keeps talking to you. She's distracting you. Or your little sister in your back. I don't want to die. And your mom keeps talking to you. Or you got your boyfriend and girlfriend in the car. They're looking at you in the mirror, kind of smirking. Your sister's bugging you. Your mom is talking to you. Those are distractions. So you want to eliminate distractions before they happen. Jay, do you have a valid temporary instruction permit? Yes or no? Did it expire? I like the question, and we'll look at that in a minute because that's important. What if someone follows you all the way home? Call the police. You should always be looking around your car. No one should ever be following you if you don't know. Someone is following you home because you don't check. If a strange car is following you home, go around the block one time. Go a different route. If they're still following you, go to the police department. So whenever I see questions like this tells me you're just not checking your mirrors. You're just not looking around. You should always check your mirrors every 12 to 15 seconds. You can always call the police, push 911. Hey, a car's following me. It's this color car. I'm traveling on this route. Here's where I'm going. I'm at exit 24. I'm on 75. I'm on 94. I'm on this. I'm on that. And then the police will, the road test is about 45 minutes. If there's ice on the road, you want to lift your foot. It's not a speed. You want to lift your foot so you have control. What part of the test most people fail? It's the parallel parking. And then it's running lights, turning right on red, not checking blind spots, going in the wrong lane when you make a right turn. And if you almost cause an accident, then you're going to end up terminating yourself. Hand placement. Have your hands at 9 and 3 or 10 and 2, 75. Have both hands on the wheel. The tester does not care where you have your hands as long as you have both your hands on the wheel. Is there a certain amount of points you lose in the parking section? It's, I want to say it's 7, or I think it's 5. And we'll look at that. Is the road test, okay, what? In the road test, is the car we drive the same? No, it's your own. It's probably going to be your truck, Samantha. I was never taught parallel parking. How would you recommend I learn? Watch videos. Have your mother and dad show you. You have to learn how to parallel park. If you can't parallel park, you'll fail. Do you automatically fail if you fail parallel parking? Yes. Okay, guys, I need you to continue looking at these videos. I will go live later. Bye.